All right, brothers, welcome back to Getting Swole, episode 6. This is your host, Ken Tunison speaking. Starting this leg day off quite differently. Decided to do some floor pressing to kick a leg day off. You guys are probably like, why are we doing chest and triceps before legs? And listen, there is a method to the madness. If you guys recall what I said last week, and I think it was episode 2 or 1 or 3 or whatever, one of those earlier episodes in this series, I talked about how I like doing my main bench day on Monday, and then I like scattering 2 other kind of bench assisting work days where I do bench assisted workouts or bench assisting workouts or whatever. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, the floor press is one of those assisting bench workouts. It gets your bench stronger, and I'll get into why and how it does in a few brief moments. But I'll do this, let's say, on Thursday. This was Thursday, leg day. I'll do this before legs. Like I said before, my main bench day is Monday. Do this on Thursday, and then Saturday is usually most likely dead bench. Now, I've only been doing this for about a week and a half, and I've already seen some, pretty darn good results. You guys saw on the chest and biceps day. I think that was episode 4. And you saw how I hit 275. I gained 2 reps on that. Already seeing results. Very excited to start consistently doing these bench assisted workouts, and very excited. And these aren't the only 2 bench workouts that I do to help with my bench. Okay, there's like tons more, but I kind of cherry picked out the 2 ones that help with what I think I struggle the most on, and that is the dead bench, strength off the chest, and then of course the floor press, taking the leg drive completely out of it and also working on the triceps, because I do think my triceps can be a lot stronger in order to help increase my bench. Now, set number 1 here, doing 225. And when I first did this, I thought it was going to be easier. This was the day last week I did that. I actually did these on a rest day last week. That's why I didn't film them and include them in a rest day. Now, I get 8 reps here with 225. And again, I thought this was going to be a lot easier when I first did it, because I'm like, all right, I'm not going down all the way, but boy, was I wrong. All right. And the reason why these are a lot harder than regular bench is that they take your legs completely out of it. Okay. You might be able to muster up like some like tiny little amount of leg drive when you're pushing for that last rep, but it is nowhere near the amount of leg drive when doing a regular flat bench. All right. And it really opens your eyes up and helps you see how important the legs are in a workout, a movement such as the bench press. It really opens your eyes up. And I didn't even know this until, again, when I did it for the first time last week. And this is set number 2 here. I decided to go to failure on this one, which is why I put the safety pins in. And when you're doing this, make sure you put your safety pins, and this is if you're going to failure, make sure you put them at an appropriate height. I really want to put them not too low to where my triceps would get freaking annihilated. You see right here, it's kind of like the perfect height. Luckily, the last hole in my power rack was that perfect height. Make sure you put them at the right height, because if you put them too low, you're going to end up hurting your triceps and your elbows. God knows what can happen. Be very careful when you're doing those. And of course, don't go to failure if you don't have safety pins. It's a pretty dangerous movement, especially if you're not going slow on the way down. If you're just going fast, you can really bust up your arms. But yeah, it helps with the bench because strengthens the triceps and kind of strengthens that midpoint of the press up. Helps you control the weight without using the legs, which is a huge factor in regular bench press. All right, now on to the juicy stuff, legs. All right, you guys know my approach to legs. It's 2 sets of leg extensions. We went with 210 pounds for 10 this week. which was an increase in weight, and I actually matched my reps of last week. Last week was 185 pounds, and I did that for 10. But then again, I wasn't going hard last week. You guys remember that. And I didn't really go that hard this week. But I did go hard on leg curls. I like going hard on leg curls. This is kind of the only thing that I do for my hamstrings. I do want to start getting into doing RDLs again, but I kind of hit them a little bit on back days when I do the kind of like the RDL deadlift or whatever. I call it the low back deadlift, but I am working the not the RDLs, the hamstrings a little bit on that. And the reason I don't really do RDLs that much is because whenever I used to do them, they would reactivate a hamstring injury that I had when I played college baseball. So I've kind of stayed away from them because when I do leg curls, they feel great, right? No pain or whatever, all right? None of that whatsoever. And I don't feel it at all when I do squats either. But set one for leg curls was 125, which was a 10-pound increase from last week. And I gained a few reps on that. So I guess you can say a PR there. But honestly, my legs just felt a little more fresh this day. Work was not slow this week, but just not as taxing on the body, which I'm a huge fan of that. Whenever I can get weeks where it's like not that much, just hard labor, I get really excited for my workouts. And I actually decided to do calves on this day. You guys are probably like, holy shit, he's doing calves. Now don't get too excited, nothing fancy here, all right? I'm just doing body weights, calf raises, all right? I did 30 the first set, and then I was like, all right, why not? Let's do a second set. Another set of 30 reps, and just really feeling a burn here. Not really trying to do too much. I don't do these that often to, put a bunch of weight on, just go balls to the wall. I feel like I'll just be way too sore, way too wiped out for squats, so I didn't want to do that. And then I get to squats, all right? And squat was a great session on this day. I did gain a rep with 315. All right, if you guys remember, I got 7 last week, and I've kind of been slowly trying to get my way back to what I had a few years ago when I was at college, and the most I ever got then was 11 with 315 on the bar, and that was a high for a certain workout, though. That wasn't like what I was consistently getting. I was consistently getting 8 to 9 reps. So to get 8 in this workout, it means I'm on the right path. I'm going in the right direction, and very excited about that because I was able to get 8 on this day, and I didn't really go to failure. I don't really go to failure on squats because I just don't really feel like destroying my power rack. It was $300, and I don't think it can actually withstand the weight that I have on the bar. I know guys have done videos online where it's like, yeah, the weight can handle, but I feel like for squats, if it falls that high and that quickly, it might mess up the power rack. Bench is a lot different because you can guide it on the way down when you're still pretty much pushing up on the weight. It's not as much of a force drop. So I don't know. I don't really feel safe with it. I don't want one of these bars to like come apart and like murder me or something. That's just a fear I have. But I do go, I'm pretty sure I go 1 rep from failure. You guys can see here. All right. And again, legs felt quite fresh on this day. I was able to get 8 reps, which is a current PR. Very excited about squats. Very, very excited. And of course, there are also squat assisting workouts that you can do if you reach a plateau. Haven't really watched videos on it, but I've heard about something called a dead squat. And if it relates at all to the dead bench, I'm sure it's just putting the weight on safety pin or, the safety rope things that I have here and just trying to squat it up, which sounds freaking hard as hell, all right, when I think about it. But that could definitely break some plateaus. Closing on the last few reps here. And didn't decide to do the audio here, all right? Felt like listening to music in this workout. You guys probably noticed that in episode 5, I just did the mic'd up thing, And you might be wondering, why is there no music? And sometimes I just get tired of listening to the same songs, the same playlists over and over again. Sometimes I just like working out with silence. And a lot of people will be like, dude, like, you're insane, you're a psycho. And I don't see it like that. I just see it like, all right, the music, not really feeling it today. Let me just be silent and listen to myself freaking grunt and breathe heavily. It's like, I don't see myself as a psychopath just because I don't listen to music when I'm working out. Like, I don't really need music to get me going. It does help, but I definitely don't need it to work out. I remember there was a brief period about a year and a half ago when I just got so tired of listening to music that I just cut it off for like a month, I think it was. I just wasn't even listening to music when I worked out. And it was, again, I didn't need it to motivate me to work out. But last set here, 280 for 10 reps, which I did 275 for 10 last week. And yeah, that is the workout. I will see you guys for episode 7. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys later.